Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gore Column in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out big news. Guys, if you love to hear about small companies with record revenues quarter over quarter, if you believe and love the mobile advertising space, especially when it comes to kids and families and all the regulation going on around it, and you believe in the opportunities there, you're going to love this interview with Kidoz. They trade in Canada, the stock symbol KIDZ. For French in the S, KDOZF. For those new to the story, because you saw the record revenue headline, this is what you need to know. Kidoz owns the biggest mobile advertising platform for kids and families. How big? There are about 4,000 apps around the world right now using Kidoz to reach over 300 million kids. They're working with top brands, Disney, McDonald, Hasbro, Lego, and a trusted partner of Apple and Google, which is critical as all the rules are changing right now and trust is paramount. That's translating to revenue growth that started with 2017 revenues at just under $2 million. Last year, full numbers, $12.4 million. And this year, it looks like they're on the way to the record because why? Q3, here's the headline. Kidoz Inc. records quarterly revenue of $3.5 million US, a massive record. Jason, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you. Great to be here. Great to see you, George.
Congratulations. And before we even talk about your business success, this is amplified by the fact that Snap, Facebook, Google all missed, and you had growth of 25%. So before we talk about that growth, how does it feel to be going out to your peers and colleagues, everybody in the space, and saying, we're outperforming the best platforms on the planet?
Right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, as a CEO, as a leader of our amazing team, it feels incredible. I know that what we're doing is we're just scratching the surface too. So it's like we're just business as usual, pushing it out at an incredible pace. The team is super high functioning. The technology is fantastic, and the numbers speak for themselves, and that's what we're doing and we're going to continue to do.
25% a year ago, a year and a half ago by the way, would still be fantastic.
Sure.
But the economy was cooking. There's so much liquidity and so much cash out there that it's like, all right, pretty decent result. But 25% in this Q3
right
is a massive growth number.
No, 25%.
What do you attribute that to?
Year over year.
How'd you hit that?
Yeah, 25% year over year and 39% when we look quarter over quarter. So, really everything's just coming together. And in our space here, there are two great factors that are working for us. And so we've got the tailwind of the regulatory environment, a lack of safe channels that advertisers can choose to advertise on. And that's great for Kidoz. We've built the scale that we need. We're ingesting more campaigns than ever, and we've got more capacity than ever. There is really no stop to what we're doing, and we continue to build for a much bigger future based on that trend. And the second trend that I think is really empowering it and is giving us some resilience as opposed to some of the other players that you mentioned is that the kids directed media business has been slower to shift off of television. And so what we're seeing is that continued shift off of television. So there's new money constantly, even if there is a pullback, there's new money because maybe they'll pull back even faster because television is dying. There's those budgets that need to get placed. And instead of saying, okay, we're going to put $1 million again on TV to a declining audience, they're going to say, oh, we're going to take that digital. Maybe it's only 800,000 now, but it's going to be a bigger slice to Kidoz and their mobile line because we're one of the leaders in reaching kids digitally.
So you got this seismic shift still taking place, this paradigm shift. So even if the rest of the market's down, if George is pulling his budget off of TV, that's fresh, brand new money.
Fresh money.
And I want to be clear about something so a lot of people know this is important. You're not exchanging $4 for a quarter because a lot of companies in your business are losing money at the end of the day.
Right.
But your gross came in at $1.245 million. Again, that was a big jump as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that you're delivering a pretty healthy bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, our management team and our business philosophy has always been to pace the hiring and expenses of the company with the anticipated growth. and we've done that. So the margins, we're always pushing top line. So we've seen the gross profit increase, nice jump there, despite, the expenses are going up, but we need to hire to keep growing. But that hiring allows us to increase our space and increase our pace of growth. And so, we've got free cash flow. We're still targeting profits for the year. And that's, what we're focused on at Kidoz: growth, top line, maintain free cash flow, maintain profitability, and hopefully accelerate growth. I mean, we're actually not buffering for a decline. We're positioning for more growth. 25 is great, but I'd like more.
And given what's going on, I want to talk about your balance sheet just for a second. A lot of companies are struggling to maintain a decent balance sheet, and that could hurt the business going forward. But you've got, as of this period, $1.8 million cash, $3.7 million working capital. How secure does that make the business? How secure does that make your growth initiatives?
Very secure. I mean, I think our basically our position within the market now is firm. We've got everything mapped out. We've got our expenses mapped out. We've got a huge receivable number coming into 2023. And of course, there are unknowns in the macro environment, but Kidoz is an integral part of the ad tech ecosystem, and that's not going to change. And we're working closely with the platforms who embrace and prioritize privacy and security. And we think with a lot of these changes that are coming, like the age gating that's coming, and that's only going to increase and grow our ability to access more impressions and monetize more impressions through multiple different strategies.
So let's talk about, that's what we do know. Let's talk about the unknown. We're in Q4 right now. And again, there's a lot of consternation around the world. There's a lot of unknowns out there. The other day, in fact, I saw toy companies are going to try and maintain margins by making smaller toys. They're decreasing the sizes of toys and things like that. So there's a lot of issues going on. I know you don't have specifics and you can't tell us anything specific, but just generally speaking, you've maintained your target for the full year of 16 to 18 million US dollars revenue. So does that mean Q4 is going, pretty well, on track?
No, I mean, obviously we're here to celebrate Q3, which was a great success for Kidoz and the team and the market. But Q4 is 40. We're halfway through Q4, and that's the big prize for investors and the team itself. And what I could say is that we're thrilled with their trajectory so far. The deals are coming in faster, bigger than ever. We use that record word a lot, but it does seem to fit as the previous tops continue to fall. And that's what we're doing. And actually, it's, while we're seeing it just run at an incredible rate, it's a beautiful thing to see the system and the team functioning at such a capacity. And it just gives us that inspiration to bite off more. And actually, I've just finished a planning session where we're going to be doing some really exciting things coming into 2023 and try and increase this growth.
And as someone who follows not just the broad financial markets, but each vertical, especially digital verticals, and what's going on out there, what you're saying there almost blows me away, because there's so many companies. They're almost, it seems like you are one of the very few companies in this world right now digitally that isn't being impacted significantly. And you're not just being impacted, you're not avoiding that. You're not just avoiding that, you're setting records. And you're loving how Q4 is looking. So that should be thrilling to all your shareholders at home.
Yeah, we're excited.
Pending the final result, obviously we want to make sure,
of course,
for the regulators, but you're confident right now.
No, it feels good. I mean, I think as an entrepreneur, you come up with ideas and you work with those ideas. And then if you're a lucky entrepreneur, which I currently am right now, you get the tailwinds in the head, like everything's kind of coming in your direction. So we've got regulatory tailwinds, we've got consumer tailwinds, because gaming is booming. Gaming is massive. The amount of people inside games, and advertising as a monetization technique within gaming is booming as well. And so and we've got the privacy and security concerns. Google, I don't know if you saw that Google was just handed a $391 million,
400 million, call it $400 million
$400 million fine for invading and tracking people's irresponsibly. And so, there are real risks out there for not behaving properly. And Kidoz, from a foundational level, it doesn't do any of those violations. And we satisfy the regulators, we satisfy the platforms, we satisfy the app developers, we satisfy the advertisers, and we deliver results. And that's why we're growing. I mean, all of these things are requirements that we do.
In fact, the foundation of your business isn't even built on that
Exactly.
that old very lucrative but now toxic advertising basket. You're not
Correct.
even. It'd be hard to imagine you getting in trouble unless you did something really egregiously stupid. But you can't even step over the line because you're not even there, right?
No. The technology is not. It's built to purposely not store, share, profile, track. It doesn't do any of these things. So you can't, get in trouble for things you don't do. And so that's it's a great place to be. And we think that pendulum is not going to be shifting anytime soon. And it allows us great opportunities to work, because instead of companies that are used to profiling and sharing and storing and doing these things, they have to backtrack to get out of that. So that when you're backtracking, technically, you're not forward thinking, you're not doing new things. And so because we don't have to backtrack, we are doing new things. We're advancing our programmatic system. We're advancing our installer, our performance business. And all of these are benefiting in different ways from the regulatory and privacy and growth in gaming. All these are contributing to our ability to chew off bigger revenues in those business units.
I got to tell you, 5 years ago, I guess that was right before the Facebook scandal, I never imagined a scenario in which Google's foundational advertising business strategy would be at risk the way it is now. I never would have foreseen that. So that kind of seismic shift has to put more attention on Kidoz at the end of the day, right? Where
I think
some providers saying, hey, I'm not saying you're going to get acquired, but there must be people knocking on your door saying, I'd rather not be fined $400 million. Why don't I just go buy Kidoz? Not literally, again, I don't want the regulators to come down on us, but there's got to be that thought process going on.
Yeah, I think ultimately it comes to a strategic partner thinking that, our team and strategy and technology is the right fit for their business, whether that's a media company that wants to get to be owning digital ad tech, or maybe it's another ad tech partner that wants to be the leader in the kids safe segment, which I think is growing. Like, I really believe this age gating trend. So basically this means that apps are supposed to ask their users if their age, so that they can create two segments of traffic, one to monetize aggressively and one to monetize compliantly if they're under 13 or under 18 in California very soon. And this is a policy that is posted for all mixed audience apps. And mixed audience means, does the app appeal through its colors, or is it a game that's appealing to kids? But most apps don't currently age gate. But as this trend continues to advance, it increases the strategic importance for all operators in the ad tech space to compliantly monetize the under 13 or 18.
Yeah, and if I want to run ads and I'm going to my typical channel, and as age gating and all that things becomes more and more critical, I'm going to look at ABC over here, and they're going to say, well, we do, we don't. I'm going to say, you know what? I don't want to run into problems. I'm going to call Kidoz.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not going to have a problem there. And I just don't want to get involved in the mess.
Yeah. And instead of it becoming a decision point, like, oh, should we age gate? Are we falling in this? It just becomes a business as usual. Like, okay, yeah, we have two segments of traffic. We use this aggressive technology here, and we use this amazing technology that gives us great results and is actually advertising that is more palatable by our users. On this side, I mean, because we're bringing like great ads from Lego or Disney or whoever, and that don't take the user away from that game. Whereas a huge percentage of the advertising that is aggressive, it wants you to download a different game, or it wants you to do something, and that takes your user away. So yeah, there are some advantages to aggressive targeting advertising, which is mostly higher CPMs, but we offer very good ones too. The amount of publishers that work with us is very high and growing all the time, and the amount that leave is almost zero. So it's a great business.
And on top of the legal tailwinds behind you, COPA, GDPR. So I get that, like, even though we didn't mention those specifically, that's what we're talking about, these new laws. You've also got some practical. The last thing I want to talk about is a headline. I'm gonna read the headline: how a small change in Apple iPhone's privacy feature is threatening the business model of social media companies.
Right.
Again, that's another threat to their business.
True.
Which provides a tailwind to you, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It does, yeah, because it pushes that shift of the technology that has strength away from the things that are dependent on profiling and deep tracking to the things that aren't dependent on the profiling and tracking. And Kidoz, because foundationally we don't use that information, we are not dependent. So we're always looking for where we're building our ways of working and our technology within the environment. We don't have that data. And so when Apple takes it away from other players, they start to fall because they have to shuffle and think. Whereas we're like, okay, so now we're a step forward because we were already working that way anyway.
Wow.
And that's great. I mean, the app install industry is $100 billion industry. And, you know, we've got some great tech, and we continue to invest heavily in that area. And we've got a bigger team than ever that's shipping great stuff constantly. And we think that we can, you know, build some really nice revenues in that area and multiple others.
The last place where you bucked a trend as well, seems like you bucked all the trends, is hiring. Facebook, everybody's laying off massive amounts, 11%, 20% of their workforce.
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
these are the biggest layoffs we've ever seen, and we never foresaw these. You had new hires during the quarter.
We did.
You know, let's talk about, you know, why, how, or whatever you want to tell us about the new hires.
Yeah.
And how you're able to pull that off when, and you may be even getting best of crop, because George's been laid off and you never thought you'd have a shot at him, but now you got him because he got laid off by
we do get some of that. I mean, I would say that the type of person that wants to come to a Kidoz is focused on like deep problem solving, hard work, but within a smaller team and a more flexible and kind of collaborative, rather than like someone who's used to a bigger company and is just chasing the biggest paycheck they can possibly find. And you know, there is a psychological difference between those two types of employees. And we've built our company on the first that I mentioned, and it's worked great. I mean, honestly, our retention is incredible. People are happy, people are engaged. It's a really interesting, ad tech is very interesting, and in a smaller group that's collaborative, international, you know, high speed system that everyone's getting their hands on. It's fun and exciting work. Tons of, you know, sales and agency partners. So there's like regular deal flow. There's lots of interesting stuff going on. And so we get people stuck in from that rather than dangling the biggest paycheck, which isn't our strategy.
Last word to you. I'm sure, hopefully it's like November 15th. I hope we're going to have you back on, and we'll have more things to talk about. But, you know, last word to you. What do you want to say to shareholders in terms of, you know, how happy you guys are and how happy they should be? Because in this period of time, there are a lot of people who are nervous, look at their portfolios. They're nervous about what they should be doing.
Sure.
And it seems like you guys are one of those rare spotlights that are performing way beyond the mean.
Of course, you know, my message to investors is the same, and that is, look, Kidoz is a great company. We're doing the results time and time again that we say we're going to do. You can hold us for a shorter term because there are great results coming. You can hold us for a longer term because we know that this is an excellent segment and we're a high performing company with good leadership, incredible staff and execution. And we're going to be doing more and bigger next year than ever before. So please give us a look.
Yeah, and for everyone at home, Jason's not talking his book because I don't know how many quarters this is of record revenue, record top line, record bottom line, and all that. So, you know, Jason, congratulations, man. Love the fact as a shareholder, I'm going to say congratulations to you and the team on something fantastic. And as the market starts to figure out the winners from the pretenders out there, you know,
Right.
this catharsis is pretty much going to be finished by tax loss selling time.
Yeah, true.
I've got very little doubt that the world's going to say, all right, Kidoz is going to be one of the last great, you know, companies standing. I've got to take a serious look at that.
Yeah, no, it's good to be here. It feels good, and we're proud of what we've done. You know, it's been many years of hard work, and it's nice to be in this position. But and it's nice to share it with you and all the listeners and watchers around. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. For everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening to my podcast on Spotify, Google, or Apple, your favorite podcast platform. To Jason Williams, he's the CEO of Kidoz, trades in Canada, KIDZ, in the US, KDOZF. You've heard the numbers, they speak for themselves. You see the records. If you're new to the company and you want to start your due diligence, the company's profile page on Agoracom is the first place you need to go. We know this is a business model that a lot of you aren't familiar with, so we've got it all laid out for you in a way that's really logical and easy to understand. And once you've got that information, head over to the Kidoz website, do your deep dive due diligence, and hopefully today you discovered your next amazing small cap company. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you next time.
Thank you.
Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel and never missing another great Agoracom small cap video.